Nanach, Nachman. We're going to study now from the holy book Chaye Moharan, the life of our master, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. So this holy book begins with conversations that are connected, that are relevant to teachings of Rabbi Nachman. They apply to when he said those teachings. Okay, the Torah B'Chatzotros, the Torah in the Kuteman, in the collection of Rabbi Nachman of the trumpets. Amar B'Rosh Hashanah Po Breslov Shnas Tav Kuf Samach Gimel. He said here in Breslov in the year 563, which is I guess 1803. The New Year's fell out then on Monday and Tuesday. Wuhaya Rosh Hashanah Harishon Liyeshivaso Po Uliskarvu Selav. And this was his first New Year's in Breslov, and it was the first Rosh Hashanah of my coming close to Rabbi Nachman. This is Rabbi Nathan speaking. And it was then heard in the world the edicts that they wanted to put through in the world, which only came out in our days due to our plentiful sins. In other words, the edicts were talked about then, but they were only actually brought into action many years later, after Rabbi Nachman passed on. That is, to a forced draft on Jewish children to be soldiers. May the Holy Merciful One save us, as this applies now also in the state of Israel. So may the Holy Merciful One save us from now on, because these edicts started and they blossomed in the days of the kingdom in Poland. Kodem Shekava Shakira Mirusias Minasin. Before the Tsar of Russia conquered our country. So then afterwards, at the beginning of his conquering our country, the matter was silent a little, and then it returned and was aroused, that it was heard in the world. They wanted to make many edicts that they call punktin. They would take little children, very little children, and for 20 years, 25 years, they would throw them with the lowest scums that were in the army, and the kids would forget everything that they knew. They were taken as little children, kidnapped from their homes. And while this was going on in the world, they were talking about doing this. Rabbi Nachman revealed this teaching b'chatzotos, with trumpets. And this teaching begins. Every person is required to say that the whole world was created only for me, etc. And to fill the lackings of the world, and to pray for them, to the Holy Blessed One. And that's before the actual edict of heaven goes out. It is still possible to pray, and one is required to see that he is responsible to pray for all the edicts, for everything that's going on in the world. Ayin Sham, see there, and this was an allusion to the edicts that were being talked about then. And then in brackets it says here, see in the book appetizers of wisdom. Kasav Sham, he wrote there, V'shamati me'avi zal, and I heard from my father of blessed memory, referring Shirama Zal's Rabbeinu Zal, that our master Rabbi Nachman then of blessed memory was alluding Shikfar hu la'achar gzerdin, that it was already after the edict. Because Rabbi Nachman there discusses in this teaching, the fifth teaching of the collection of teachings of Rabbi Nachman, how to revoke a edict from a heavenly edict even after it was already promulgated, after it was put into action. Rabbi Nachman there shows how tzaddikim can mitigate and revoke an edict even after it was sealed and it went out from judgment. So even though Rabbi Nachman alluded that this edict was already, it went out from heaven, even still our master Rabbi Nachman of blessed memory involved himself very much b'chol hashana, that whole year, lahamtik edin, to sweeten this judgment, ad sha'idei Paul b'tfilos, until he was successful with his prayers, shnisakev hadavar, that the matter was held back, v'lo yatsa gzera el hapoel, and the edict did not go into action, ad sheishes rishanim achar istakuso, until 16 years after his death, and this took place about 9 years before he died, so he held it off for about 25 years. Yeah, about 8 years before he died. So it's altogether about 25 years, 25 years. There's much to speak about this, and it will be explained elsewhere. And the Breslover Hasidim, the elders, Sipru, they related Sheshamu Az Mirabenu Zal Shomer B'Zul Lashon, that they heard then from our master of blessed memory that he said in these words, Ich hab das abgestopt auf etliche und 20 Jahr. That is, he said in Yiddish, I pushed it off for 20 and some years. V'chein haya mechuva mamish, and so it was exactly. Ki mishnas amir satornav, because from the year that he said that teaching, ad shnas yitzias exer lepoel, until the year that the edict went into action, b'shnas tavkuf peizayin, in the year 587. The sofa at the end of that year, so that's about 1827. At the end, yesh eir chamesh v'esim shanim. There is approximately 25 years. Okay, Nanach Nachman Nachman Yuman.